Today I'm going to talk about how strength training has helped me heal my relationship with my body, because I've not always had a great relationship with my body. In fact, it's taken me many, many years to get to this point. And strength training was a huge catalyst for me, because before then I used to look in the mirror and I just used to hate what I saw. I used to focus on fat face, fat arms, fat on my belly, fat on my thighs, like everywhere. And I would not appreciate my body for what it really was, for what it allowed me to do. So I was a mess. I was a mess before I got into strength training. I used to be that fun kind of young adult, teen going into young adult, and in my early 20s, I was always just, the one that people took the mick out of, not from being overweight, but just I would just do that to myself and never take myself very seriously. And I'm still not a very serious person at my core. However, I do take myself way more seriously now than I ever have done before. And that comes from self-respect. And I know intrinsically that strength training has truly helped me with that. So my journey, I'm going to talk briefly about it, but then I want to say why and how strength training really has helped me. So for me, strength training began when I graduated from uni. Again, I was overweight, I looked a mess because I just didn't take care of myself. I drank a lot during my time at uni. I ate crap. And I just wasn't looking after myself. So I hit the gym. I moved back home, hit the gym, hired a coach and got to work really. Started off slow, just doing, using light weights and using my body weight for certain exercises. And I found that over time, I was very committed to this journey. I used to train at least 3 times a week and I kind of hit it quite hard. I started to see results in terms of not necessarily like fat loss straight away, but I started to feel stronger. And from that strength, I started to feel a little bit more empowered each time. And that effort that I put in compounded over time more and more. But one thing I will say is the reason why I started this journey was through punishment and not through appreciation. So I felt like I was punishing my body with each workout, and I approached it from that way of just feeling like I have to shed the fat. I need to cut this fat from every section of my body, and I would not recommend that to you. And this is what I teach my clients, you need to approach it from a place of love. Your body is amazing. It's the most adaptable thing on the planet, and you're able to change it and move it in any way you want as long as your mind is there. So don't come at it from that mindset of punishment. You have to approach it from a place of love and respect for your body. And that respect also means resting your body when you need to rest it, not just go, hard all the time. So for me, one of the main things, like I just mentioned, I felt like I was getting stronger over time. And just knowing that you can lift more than you lifted before, or you go from doing a press up on your knees to a press up on your toes, like just that feeling of progression in your physical ability is such an amazing feeling. And of course you can get that feeling from running and running a 5K, for instance, in a quicker amount of time, or running a half marathon, or any length of race. You can get that feeling. But for me, strength training, you're building your body up, and through building your body up through your muscles, you're building yourself up, you're building up your character. And that for me is life-changing. And obviously it changed my whole life. Soon after I started my journey in the gym, I saw amazing results. My body shape changed. I shed fat. Even though, I was being disciplined with my diet, but I wasn't being 100% disciplined. But I knew that the weight training and strength was really, really helping me. And after that, I became a coach myself. So I became a personal trainer a good 14 years ago now. And I've helped hundreds and hundreds of clients since then transform their own lives as well, because I just knew how powerful this was. But one thing I must say is when I was at uni, I really, really was desperate to lose weight, even though I didn't really know much about food. I wasn't educated in nutrition or anything like that. But I signed myself up for a half marathon and I had very terrible knees. I had a football injury from my first year at university, and my knee pains had been a huge struggle throughout my time at uni. But I pushed myself. I did my running training, and that's all I focused on. And then I got to the half marathon. I remember I only trained up to 8 miles for my half marathon, and a half marathon is 13.1 miles. So I remember really struggling in that half marathon, and I remember I was one of the last ones to finish the race, and I was proud of myself for finishing it, even though I walked, ran. My knee was in excruciating pain during that time. I shouldn't have even ran it. The first aider beforehand told me, like, you shouldn't really be doing this, but my ego got in the way and I was like, no, I'm here now, I'm going to complete it. And I was proud of myself, but I didn't get that real sense of achievement like I really, I really worked hard and pushed for it. But again, I've never really loved running and it's not really for me. However, I do enjoy that feeling of sprinting and knowing that I really exerted myself. But I understand that running is amazing for a lot of people. But I feel like strength training trumps running, again, just from that sense of building your character and making yourself realize just how damn strong you are. Like at the end of the day, like as a woman, we don't have as much testosterone naturally in our bodies, and strength training helps us increase our testosterone, and it increases our human growth hormone. It stimulates that to create muscle protein synthesis in the body, growing our muscles, and also not only that, but allowing us to have a higher metabolism even at rest. So we're actually burning fat at a quicker rate. But this isn't all about fat loss, but that is just a byproduct of strength training. And you'll know if you've strength trained before and had a long break, you'll notice the difference in how you felt in those different periods of your lives. And yes, over the 14 years, I have had little mini breaks from strength training. And at this point in my life, like, I am not myself if I don't hit the gym at least twice a week. I need to be doing that in order to feel myself, in order to get my body in that state of, okay, right, you're working every single muscle here and you're feeling good. And who doesn't want to build shape in their bodies, I just think weight training is the best thing you can do. It is a form of therapy and it can truly, truly help you heal your relationship with your body, your amazing, amazing body. I'm just going to talk to you about a few things that strength training has really helped me learn and understand. One is that progress is never linear. It's always going to be fluctuating up and down. Yes, you can be on a great trajectory for a while. However, there will be a little bit of a dip because that's life. And it's actually made me okay with how that spills into other areas of my life, because not everything is going to be plain sailing and on the up all the time. And that's more than okay. It's also taught me to fuel my body rather than restrict the foods that I eat and, underfeed my body. Because when you're strength training, you really do need enough food to fuel you. So it's not about being on a crazy, ridiculously low calorie target of like 1,000 or 1,200 calories per day. I'm only short. I'm just over 5 foot, like 5'1". So my body doesn't actually need as many calories as the average woman, sadly. However, strength training does allow me to eat a little bit more, or it just doesn't have the same impact as it doesn't have the same impact on my body as it would on someone 5'1" that doesn't strength train, So I make sure I eat enough protein. That is a massive one. I make sure I have enough carbs and fat in order to fuel me, and as well as fiber as well. And just educating yourself around food and fueling your body along with weight training, that is gonna just send you off and you'll feel amazing. You'll have so much more energy, which is another amazing byproduct of strength training. Okay, strength training also has taught me to respect my limits and not resent them, because we all have limitations, physical ones. You can only start at a certain point. You can't start up here. You're going to be starting where you're at. So meet yourself where you're at, and rather than resenting yourself, you're not as strong as the girl next to you on the squat rack. Just start from where you're at and know that it's okay. Like, just tune into what you're doing and stay in your lane. And little by little, you're going to get there, you're going to grow, and you're going to see yourself get stronger over time. And sometimes it happens a lot quicker than you might imagine. I also want to emphasize what strength training has done for my confidence and for my self-esteem, self-worth, because it has really heightened my confidence. I was never the most confident person, and so what it's allowed me to do is just know that I've got this. I've got certain situations. Again, it really does trickle into other areas of my life, because if I know that I've pushed myself in the gym, then I know I can push myself in other areas. And I know that's not a like for like thing, but I just know that my innate ability to push myself in other areas is there because of my strength training. And as well as my confidence, it's just given me that innate knowing and that innate feeling within me that I'm able to achieve other things. So again, repeating myself a little bit here, but it really is at the base of many other things in life where your life can just take these turns. So yeah, strength training is amazing. And another lesson I learned is that strength training taught me my body is on my side and it's not my enemy. Where I used to treat my body like my enemy, and I used to just like punish it, like I said, I now know that my body is trying to work for me, not against me. And that's really been a game changer in just the way I see my body, and I love my body and appreciate my body for what it is. And with that respect, like I mentioned earlier, we also need to give our bodies enough rest, because if you don't rest your body, you're going to be vulnerable to injury. It's happened to me in the past. If you feel a little niggle here and there, like I've had a niggle in my shoulder, rest it. There's nothing wrong with resting. Let's say your lower body's really feeling it, but your upper body's feeling strong. Go and do an upper body workout. And the same for the reverse. If you're feeling your shoulder or your wrist, then go and do some lower body exercises instead. There's always something you can be doing. Unless you've got multiple injuries, of course, then that's not going to work. So yeah, make sure you're respecting your body through this process. And if this is a journey that you've started and stopped, or you feel like you need to start, or you really want to start and you're feeling drawn towards weight training and strength training, then this is exactly what I do in my VIP coaching program, the Mind Body Method. And I help women start where they're at. Some of them are a bit further along than others. Others are right at the beginning. And I help them get stronger and feel all the amazing feelings, get more energy, understand how to fuel their body, feel stronger, feel powerful, feel empowered, all of that stuff. And doing it alongside other women with the same mindset, and I train your mindset as well within my program, because mindset, this is the Mind Body Method. Mindset is a huge factor in all of this. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to leave this there. Comment below if you are into strength training, and I'd love to know how it's changed your life, if it's helped you heal your relationship with your body, And yeah, any other questions you might have, drop them in the comments below. And again, I would love to help you on your journey if you feel the pull to do so. Then click on the link in my description to book a no pressure free call with me, and yeah, we'll see where you're at and see if we're a good fit. But if not, then thank you for watching. I hope you've learned something from this and hope to see you in the next video.